What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the A Show with the Kings, a pro wrestling podcast, trying to stay hydrated, trying to stay out of the heat. I'm Justin here with Meelz. What's up, Meelz?
I am in the oven. I am in the kitchen. I am all of that. I am currently broiling at whatever degrees it is here in New York City. It has just actually hit 100 degrees in New York City. So
What's
it is
funny? What's funny is that I'm in the valley. It's only
uh-huh.
78 degrees today. We
Good for
usually get
you.
we usually get what you guys are getting.
You get it
Uh,
in October when I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah. Like our summer kind of extends from, I would say, truthfully, July to October. Like our summer don't start till then. We're still in spring technically here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm usually bugged out when you say it's very, very hot in October because by the time it's really cooling down and stuff here. But no, it's super hot. I already went outside today. I went out to go vote. I went out to go on a long walk,
You
like
didn't
a
you
three and a
didn't
half.
wait, you didn't vote Cuomo, did you?
Hell fucking no, I ain't ranked that nigga, man.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Come on, man. Zoran, baby. We
Yeah.
here. Uh and then I picked a couple other people, other homies. I don't know these people. But I definitely didn't rank Cuomo. That was the but I'm pretty sure he'll be either second or at this point. It's gonna be like old Italians voting for him, niggas from whatever unions they got, and all these other people. But I believe there is a large young contingent. I've never felt like young people. Or I can't even say young people because they're my age. We're not even young anymore. Like
You're
we
not 50.
no, but apparently, like, we're the new unks, but we can't grill, but we can tell people how to go vote.
Here's my
So
thing, man. You niggas joking the unk niggas. I hope y'all ready to get y'all Dodge Chargers. I hope y'all niggas ready to show them what you learned in Call of Duty because the real
no,
war zone coming.
hey
You
man,
feel me?
hey, listen, I'm above age at this point.
I got hammer toe. Nigga, I can't go
I
nowhere.
got flat feet. I don't know if that's an excuse, but I heard it was. Um, I got flat feet, so yeah, can't go if they wanted to draft me. Three things, obviously.
As always.
Um, we just both saw it, the double XL freshman cover. What the fuck was that?
I don't even
The
think, here's the thing, the excuse used to be, "You're too old. You're too old. You wouldn't know these motherfuckers if they tried." I'm seeing young people say they
yeah,
don't know who the fuck these people are. It's not even an age thing no more. I like to think that I stay pretty up to date on
I
what's going
do.
on. And
You
to
more than me. You more than me for sure.
and to that point, right? It there are a couple people that I know. I mean, there's one person on here that like literally everybody should know because he is 10 times more famous than anybody on this cover, and that's Jello. But the rest of these people, yeah, I've heard of them and they were like super underground. I'm like, you mean to tell me they're not underground no more? And they about to be like on charts? Like, yo,
From 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 this entire list, the only people I've heard, Jello, Ravon, Samara Sin, and I haven't even heard Samara Sin's music. I just
she
know that she
has
exists.
she has the strangest pose on this cover.
All of them. Let me tell you something about this cover, which I hate. Just as a creative, as someone who even dabbles in graphic art, this is terrible. This is a terrible cover. Last year was bad too. Don't get me wrong. Last year was bad. There was like a whole foot missing last year. They used AI heavily last year. This, I'm like, if XXL, if double XL cannot pay people properly to do the one issue that people care about during the year, then don't do it.
Mm.
Just don't get rid of the freshman. If you can't pay people to give even semi quality work, bro, these are all the I'm looking at the cover. They look largely untreated photos. Like, it doesn't look like they, like, blended not blended, but, color indexed it, and it doesn't look like that at all,
What
bro.
exactly is the aesthetic? Is this supposed to be manga? Is this supposed to be
I
My
think
Hero?
so.
My Hero Academia, it look like?
I think
Uh,
it's supposed to be, yeah, comic book manga type vibe, but
they've done that before.
this looked like it was made in Canva. It shouldn't look like it's been made in Canva. I can use
It
Canva and
it
do
could have
this.
been. It could have been. This does look, like One Punch Man, My Hero coded. Like, the freshman looks like the One Punch Man, uh,
Who's this white guy on the cover? He don't even
Ian.
look like a rapper.
It's Ian.
Oh, all right. Well,
It's the guy that you
Lil Yachty
Tyler, the
or
creator,
Tyler. Yes, yes.
was going at and stuff. He looked like he needed to be on Love Island, not on this cover.
Dead
He's in the wrong profession if he's trying to get famous. He said he had said in the interview he's not gonna do country music. I said, "All right, clip that, clip that, Jarvis, clip that and save it."
Oh my god. Like,
Listen, it's not a to me, this is much less of a generational gap and more of a talent gap. And I think that what's happened is that I think as listeners, as fans, a lot of us got complacent and a lot of us stopped demanding more from these artists. Which is funny because like we demand so much from like the top three of these guys that
mhm.
last year they gave you an out. They all self-destructed. They all canceled each other out last year and left the lane open for new people. And I said this on Twitter. I said I thought that the fact that they would have done that this last year would mean someone new would emerge, and I was wrong. And but I was right about what I said all along, and I'm gonna keep harping on this, Meelz.
Of course.
2024 was the worst thing that could have ever happened to the genre, and I'm continuing to be proven right.
So, let's look at the 2024 cover,
Oh God.
which had Lay Banks, Maya the Don, Big X the Plug, he's somebody. Huncho, Skilla Baby, somebody. Cash Cobain, no longer a person anymore.
Yeesh. Yeah, yeesh.
The Mexican OT, not even
I
gonna.
think people saw what Cash Cobain looked like. It was a rap. But go ahead.
Yeah, the Mexican OT, which I'm not even gonna touch with a fucking 4 foot pole at this point.
Mhm. I mean, he's still around, but
Who go tell me if I'm saying the N word? Um, Rich Amiri, Bossman D'Lo, Four Bats, and Scarlip. Scarlip is the Scarlip. Scarlett has got to be a figment of people's imaginations. That didn't really happen. In my opinion. Like, it didn't really happen. It's not a thing. But why they keep trying to make it a thing? Because she had that one song that sounded like a guy who was rapping. Like, come on, man. Like, it's not a thing. But either way, moving on to my second thing. My first week of actually watching Love Island. Um, Apparently, this was the most destructive week that has happened on the show in quite some time. And are you going to talk about it on another show?
Me and Armand will be talking about it on Black Print this week, so
Okay.
check that out on Thursday. But
I'll leave my thoughts. You can hear your thoughts. Maybe you can even expound on my thoughts.
I'll expound. I'm gripping my desk right now because here's my thing.
Okay,
Before you
go
start,
ahead.
here's my thing.
Because
As
you
someone,
know what my theory is
I
essentially.
no, but well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, you know, throughout my whole conversation about this show. The best things that could have happened and the worst thing that could have happened was season 6 being so popular, right?
I agree.
Season 6 was the most popular version of the show, and the worst thing is that the people who have never watched it before, and again, I'm not acting like I'm like a genius of Love Island. I'm familiar with 5. I watched
Hmm.
the last half of 6 with my wife last year, and
Hmm.
then I'm fully on for 7 because, like, it's kind of a thing that we do. Um, I think that it has brought out people, and again, another thing that probably was a gift and a curse was the finals being as kind of meh as they were for a lot of
Hmm.
people this year.
Hmm.
So people kind of gravitated towards Love Island, which was like it's an event thing. It's a social conversation. Over 1 billion minutes watched already, and that blown last season out the water.
Does
Um,
Peacock know how to do reality or what?
yeah. So I think that coming in, a lot of people are somebody had the perfect tweet. They said, "You guys are applying baddies logic to Love Island." And to that effect, I think people are also applying challenge logic to Love Island, Big Brother logic to Love Island. They're applying fucking Survivor logic to Love Island. When like,
Sure.
and essentially, this was a show that like I'm not even trying to single people out. Like, was primarily like for females because they
Hmm.
wanted to see like to me like on this show, the money has always been kind of third. They
Right.
don't they you notice on the show, they never talk about the money. They
Of
always
course.
talk about the connections. So, like, a lot of people are like, "Whoa, well, this character's playing a game. He's scamming. He's playing the game." I'm like, "No, like, that's the point." Like, people don't like that. Like, that's why the kind of the diehards are having such a visceral reaction, but the
Mhm.
casuals are like, "W so?" You know what I mean? Like, there is a level to the the show where people actually don't care about the money, they care more about the connections people have. That's why
Mhm.
when, the option to split the money or keep it, nobody ever brings that up because we all like, no one's ever that devious
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
done that yet, and I don't think it's happened yet. But that is my main takeaway from the past week is that, like, a lot of people are not seeing how this destructive to the show, and I think last night's episode kind of proves the decision that they made thus far has made an actually less enjoyable show.
So my decision is, I mean, everything that you're feuding is everything that I think. So it just is what it is. I started at episode 13 or 14, right? So I'm kind of like getting dropped in. The first episode I see, they voted Jalen out. Um,
But
and
this they had already voted, 2 people out before that,
right,
and there
right.
was already a controversial one literally, and that's the thing too, this show should not have this many eliminations at all.
But I also feel like, so my thing is, and this is why I apply gamer logic to this, right? And I know you're not you're against kind of applying gamer logic to a show like this because it's a show about connections. But
Because
realist,
and also because there's never been anyone that's gaming on this show. That's why people are having a visceral reaction against certain people.
right? I do think that someone is gaming on this show for sure. Like the fingerprints are all there based on how the discussions they have with people, the way they're gathering people on their side, the way they're doing certain things to um, affect how the ultimate outcome of things go. That to me is gaming.
Can I counter?
Well, all right, go ahead, go ahead.
I would counter by saying, and I didn't even know this was a thing. They actually do split the couples up on off days and it several times throughout the day. So whenever they're together, it's the
Hmm.
first time they're together. So they're not actually, if they are making alliances, it's not something that production is trying to. And this is why I'm fully against the gamer logic because production is not trying to make that so.
No, I mean, they are absolutely not, but I think they're indirectly doing it by leaving the vote in the hands of the people who are there. So when you do have these situations where they are there, where Ace is talking to Taylor and a bunch of other people on the show and saying why Jeremiah, for instance, is some certain way, it gathers the situation that way. I don't think Jeremiah should have been voted off, but he was voted off in numbers for whatever reason because he pretty much either opposed Ace or was a threat to Ace, in my opinion. And it's tough. I understand that gamer logic shouldn't apply for the show, but that motherfucker's gaming, bro. He
Well, I
is. I
know, I
fully
know,
believe it.
I know,
I
and
f-
I think what's crazy is that I didn't pick up on it. A lot of people didn't pick up
I
what he
be-
was doing
can I say the
earlier.
moment? Can I say the moment I picked up on it for sure?
Yeah.
The moment I picked up on it was when he didn't vote Huda off Huda off the show.
Yeah.
When
That's what
he
that's but what that was the moment for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. That was the moment where he chose against his best, interests and stuff like that to really kind of like play the game for it. You
'Cause
have an option to
that was
eliminate
layer
everyone.
1. That was
Right.
layer 1 because layer 1 is all of us are thinking, "That's your boy." Even
Yeah,
if y'all kinda went against it, you don't want her in the same place, but keeping her made it more dangerous for him to stay on the show. That was the first step of the plan. What it is such a Devin West type move, right?
right.
Where you are keeping someone on that makes it that your alliance and them being allied and her not being able to get over it. Like he tried to act like he didn't want to hear it anymore, but
Mhm.
in reality, he knew the Huda being there would make it hard for Jeremiah to move on. And we already had even seen that when he was with Iris, when he was
Right.
with Adriana for that little 24 hours that he was with her. It was already tough for Huda to be around him in that way.
Mhm. So, I think, I mean, to me there is, and I'm extending it a little bit to the other people in the house. I do think that the success of season 6, this is just me kind of like spitballing all these other things like that. I think the success of season 6 and the success of the winners of season 6 have kind of lent over to this version of the show indirectly for at least one character on this show, which is Ace, who I essentially believe wants to win the show to have opportunities similar to that, in my opinion.
Yeah. No.
This is what I'm gathering from the show. There are other people who are literally playing the game, and I think the other players in the show, they're either see it and don't really wanna do anything because 'cause they're too still invested in the game part of the show,
Mhm.
or they're aligned with him and want to make it as far as they can on this show for the benefit of themselves.
And
I also do think that, and this is my kinda like second take, I think Hoodoo was kept there for sure for what happened at the Casa Amor kind of twist for the show, which
yeah, for
essentially gave her another life in the show because she is gonna come off the show maybe more one of the more popular people on the show for sure.
oh, she is a villain for life. I don't think that, like, that's a question. I think there is life for her beyond this in a way that I don't think there's life beyond this for Ace or Shelly or Alondria or Taylor. I think that though that group are so kinda disliked at this point. I think Nick and Sierra could probably survive this and kinda have a slight, but, like, season 6 shit, Meelz can never be replicated. It's like trying to replicate, Banana CT Jordan, you know what I mean?
Right.
You
Right.
can't replicate that. New York, you know what I mean? You can't replicate that type of success, and I think that them going in that self-aware and when they come
And
out,
that's
they're gonna
really
be
what it is. Yeah, that's really what it is. They're incredibly self-aware of what's
yeah.
going on the
They're
show.
they're gonna be very shocked. Like, my one solace in this is that Jeremiah gets out, and again, like, I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, well, Jeremiah sucks. He has no personality. He's fucking
I'm
corny."
not personally a fan of him. I do think he's corny, but yeah, it's
He's
kind of messed up.
22. He's
Yeah, yeah.
22 years old. He's n
And
like,
I think he restricted himself a lot in fear of coming off bad on television if he did say certain things.
the moments that he did actually come out of that, and I agree, the moments that he did come out of that when he tried to turn Hood away that
Mhm.
first time, I was like, that's when I became a fan. And I was like, because he's the only person on the show, Meals, that actually learned from what he was trying to do and then attempted to connect. You know what the real issue was? The bitches loved him. The bitches loved him a little too much.
I mean, yes, essentially.
The bitches loved him
I
a
think
little too much.
it would have been easier. He had, I think, a lot of connections in the house where it would have been easy for him to continue to stay in the game. Um, and
He lost
you
the
know,
boys. He lost the boys.
essentially.
I don't think he necessarily lost the girls, but he lost the boys. And
And
I
I think,
think
to be honest with you, I think because yeah, he ended up in that bottom three, it was very easy to do that. I think if he didn't end up in the bottom three, let's say Ace ends up in the bottom three, Ace doesn't go home for sure. Like they don't vote him out. They vote someone else out. I think he has legitimately that many ties in the house. So it's interesting to see where this goes. The Casa Morris split kind of like throws a wrench in things because he's with this woman that he
th
clearly
th
does not like.
that's Scott Casa Moore is the wrench in his plan, not the
Yeah.
wrench in the whole thing. That's the wrench in
Yes,
his
yeah,
plan.
no, yeah, yeah. It's just a wrench
Because
in his plan because
you
he's
know what they
clearly
did? They isolated Shelly away from him.
yep.
They
They did
isolated her
that.
away from him.
He can't be as charming, he can't be as thing, he can't be as because he's very uncomfortable in this situation. So, the smart thing for him to do would be to pivot currently. I'm not trying to make this a game of strategy, it's a game of love.
No,
But
yeah, you're but the way he's playing, yes, you're right. The smart thing for him to do in order to survive Meals would be for him to make a connection because they're already saying right now that if you do not have one when you come out, you are gone.
mhm,
So if he does not find a connection, he is gone. So he has to lie, but he
yeah.
has to lie to someone who probably doesn't fall for everything that he's going for. So I think production for sure is aware of what's going on, and I think that the way that because here's my thought too, and we can move on, but like I think that they were trying to nudge Huda out, and once the
Mhm.
Islanders didn't do it, they were just like, "Fuck, that's on y'all at this point. Let's try and get some of these other
I
people
think
out,"
they
because
like
they
her
could only
in
nudge but
terms of
so far. Like she was literally about to go.
yeah, I think they like her because of the conversation it brought in the house and, how many people were speaking about her, and that's why they kinda kept her.
They
So
should
now you're
not
able
like
to
her because I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who like think there should be a fucking disclaimer on whenever she's on TV because of the way she acts.
well, she's rehabbing currently, like rehabilitating her thing
Do
based
you
on
think any
having
of those
this
guys
new
really like
lease.
her? They reminder bombshells can see what's happened before, which is why no one really picked her except that one guy. But I mean, as a uh, as a wise man once said, a wise man, Jonathan Bananas, and this goes for Ace. You can't all win the money, and I need him to remember because again, like I said, like he said, eventually you're gonna vote all these people off, and it's gonna be just y'all three looking at each other.
It's true. It is true. I mean, not everyone can win. Um, with that said, kind of moving on, and this kind of goes on to what we can talk about on the show as well, because there's a very wrestling presence. I went to Fanatics Fest this weekend.
Oh wow.
Me and Donnie, shout out to Donnie, social media manager of the Stars. Um, we went to Fanatics Fest this weekend. I will say that this year, last year was pretty good, but I feel like this year actually was quite a bit better, actually.
Wow, wow. Well, they probably learned from last year.
But my thing, even they definitely did. Last year wasn't bad. That's what it really was. Last year, first of all, the only thing that was kind of like more different about this year was there's more people for sure. There was way more people. Last year, you could walk comfortably, move, maneuver, all these other things comfortably. This year, a little bit more hectic. Last year, the media, how they treated media was very like, whatever, do whatever you want. Um, which I wasn't media last year and I wasn't media this year. So I'm kind of going off of pretty much all my media friends who were there. This year, an extreme focus on media, prioritize seats, pri- able to get into the action, able to maneuver places around it to really capture a lot of stuff. Like it was really, really good and how they handled it this year. I will say that the live activations was good, the live shows was good. Getting into it, it pretty much took like 45 minutes to get into Fanatics Fest if you just had a ticket, unfortunately, because it was line after line after line after line. Like you had there was a line to get inside, and then once you're inside, there's a line to get past the gate, and then after you get in the gate, there's a line to line up to get the tickets, and then after that, it's the will call. You have to get on another line to move over there. But once you got in, and then if you wanted, so my thing was, we wanted to see two things for sure. We wanted to see Braun, first of all. It just is what
But
it
now,
is.
was it announced that he was gonna be there
It was
beforehand?
announced like yes, it was announced like maybe a couple days beforehand that he was gonna
Okay.
be there.
Okay.
The panel was announced for Braun, Kai, and etc. and Victor Wembanyama, Tom Brady, and where it's a massive panel.
Okay.
So the panel starts at 1:30. We get there, actually get in around noon, and then we're like, fuck it, I know how this is gonna go. So we spend like 15 minutes on the floor, Donnie and I. We're gonna take photos, we're gonna do all this other stuff like that. We spent 15 minutes on the floor and said, nah, let's fucking head over to Braun. So we get over to Braun. There's already a million people waiting online. Braun has the most male groupies you will ever see in your life. Grown male groupies.
Crying. I
Grown
saw niggas crying and shit.
Bruh, people are doing 1, 2, 3, Braun. Like it was that. It
Oh
was a
my
lot.
lord.
And then Kai was there. So it was another group of people who were also things. So we get in line for it and we're standing there for about an hour online. I'm watching Kai stream as we're going this because I'm just kind of like bored, and I'm on TikTok as we're bored, waiting in there. The first couple people are able to get through. The first group of people is able to get through, and the second group of people is able to get through. We're on the third group of people. As soon as it was time to let us in, they're like, "Nah, it's at capacity." So I spent a whole hour waiting for to not get in. Same thing almost happened with SummerSlam. We had to double back. Once again, we went up on the floor. 15 minutes later, we came back down because SummerSlam comes on right after Braun.
Oh, the press
Uh,
conference.
yes, the press conference. Press conference was cool. People were, it just is what it is. It was like a kickoff media. Hey, if you watch it on the YouTube, it was very regular. You know what I'm saying? Um, but then after that, I bumped into Jeff J as always. Jeff J, voice of New York. Um, and he was there when we were talking about kind of like the con and how all this other stuff like that. Then we ended up going up to the floor. Listen, they had so much stuff. They had this sneakers activation. The entire sneakers app was pretty much available on the floor,
That's stupid.
including
That's so
including
stupid.
including stuff that came out that day. Like an
So
entire
basically, this is what it sounds like. This is
uh-huh.
better Complex Con. This is a better Complex Con because this sounds like Complex Con first, second year. Those first 2 years of Complex Con for anybody that went who was, like, out here
Mhm.
in California, those shits were it was sensory overload. I was like, "This is where streetwear comes to die." Like, this
Yeah.
is literally where culture dies here
But this
because
w they had much better, like, collaborate like, last year, the merch was kinda ass. They had much better collaborations this year as well, and I know Complex also does that shit too. But they had much better collaborations on the actual stuff this year. They had much better shirts, they had much better, like, things. I was trying to go get a haircut desperately, I couldn't get a haircut. Um, I was, what else happened during this TAM floor experience? It was just good, and then again, they would bring the celebrities on the floor to play the game. So it's like John Cena's randomly going up to shoot basketball or play the golf stuff.
yeah,
Um, they would bring, of course, all the celebrities to do the WWE entrance thing. Like they made it a a point to have these celebrities, influencers on the floor doing things for people to actually see them and interact with them. So I thought that was cool. Um, but it was good. Like it was a really good. I recommend people. It was like again $60 for a day, maybe even less, and you can.
and that's gonna go up next year for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because of that that Katie shit. Come on, man. Um,
The
but
Katie shit was so awkward. It's like the man just got traded. Like, leave him alone.
I also think he knew. But it is what it is. They moved the 40-40 from in the middle of the damn thing because the 40-40 used to be in the middle of it, and it would just be all these rich people looking down at peasants and shit. They put
That
it
was
off to
weird last year. That was weird last year.
yeah, yeah. That they moved it off to the side this year, but it was still rich people looking down on stuff. But it was a lot. I mean, you were able to like bump in a lot. I saw a lot of streamers, of course. I saw a lot of people who were kind of just there, like internet comedians, all this other stuff like that. It was pretty good. So I would still recommend if you want to go to Fanatics Fest and if you want to meet your favorite like WWE superstar, like I would go to Fanatics Fest. It felt
It looked like a blast. I need him to come out here.
I agree. I think it should come out there. I thought it was gonna come out there last year, but apparently it didn't happen. They said it was. They said it there.
Yeah,
That it
I
was.
the thing is that it's so but I would imagine it's probably as expensive to post up there as it would be in LA though.
They probably gonna do it in Vegas.
Vegas is the place now, man. Like, I think for a lot of people getting mad at like Mania being in Vegas, I'm like, bro, Vegas is the spot right now. I'm sorry, it's just where things happen now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. If I had to guess for sure, they would do it in Vegas. If they were to do, I mean, we're still pretty close, but if I were them, I would do it around Summer League, um,
Oh
NBA
yeah,
Summer League, which is a
yeah.
little bit of July, just so you have more. Because NBA tries to do their convention thing, but it doesn't really work out because it's just the NBA. Um, so I would do it around then, but I'm not sure if people really want to brave July Vegas to go see all these other things like that. But it's a really cool event. I think it's fucking awesome. So I recommend if you can go next year, just go, even if it's just for the day. Um, seeing like live versions of the podcast. Braun did his mind game shit. Kevin Hart did his ice tub shit. Um,
Mind isn't it
lots of
Mind the
people
Game? Is it Mind the Game or
mind the
Mind Game?
game.
Yeah.
Nah, mind the game, mind the game. So he did that. Lots of other podcasts that kind of like went on. They're opening tops cards. I still don't get the appeal of tops cards, but it is what it is. Um,
Card
and yeah,
collecting is back, man. Labubus and card collecting, bro. I would imagine that you would be into card collecting because Pokemon is such a big aftermarket thing now. Like, Pokemon
well,
is, like,
yeah, it's
booming.
that's too much of an expensive habit to currently
Yeah.
involve myself in. Shout out to Donnie who was there. Donnie did amazing. Albeit Liv was not there for him to pretty much bail on me for. Um, which probably gets into our first bit of news this week.
Yeah.
Liv
Liv
Morgan.
she's out. She is out indefinitely, with a shoulder injury, which does unfortunately require surgery.
Yeah.
This was announced, late last week actually after the injury happened. I think we touched on it last week, but, we had no background on what
Time
was gonna happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
no context.
timetable.
So it sucks. Obviously, the big part of this has been that a lot of her storylines have been moved. I think we've even kind of noticed it on Raw. Nikki Bella has not shown up since the day since 2 weeks ago, and it looks like they're kind of moving in a different direction. The thing that I would say is a silver lining here is that they have time. They have time to kind of restructure this and rebuild it, and I think they have about what 2.5 weeks to do it,
Yeah.
and they can restructure it. But like now, rumors come out, or not even rumor. I think we all fucking guessed it. But
Well, they got 2 Raws to figure this out for sure.
what,
I mean,
well,
they can do it, they can build on SmackDown as well, but they got 2 Raws to figure it out if they're gonna do the Nikki Bella shit.
report has come out that Roxanne Perez will be replacing Liv in that tag team of her and Raquel, which we kind of knew already, and so like not shocking at all, but good to know. And it seems like the match could still go on if they really wanted it to with Roxanne her in Liv's place.
I think so. It's probably a little bit more, you don't really get the star power that you do with Liv, but I do think you get Nikki Bella star power, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is just a force in general. Like, she was one of the biggest people at Fanatics Fest. Um, it's yeah, it's I think they have more than enough to actually be able to pull it off as even as early as next week if they
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yep, because we have.
Um,
Well, we'll talk about Night of Champions in a second, but I mean, I guess we should talk about all of the stuff that's been going on because I mean I think that the show looked a little bit different politically. Not that it was ever good politically, but it looked a lot different in our world a week ago than it did literally 2 days ago.
yeah.
Obviously, there have been issues overseas with Iran and Israel, and what's right between that is Saudi Arabia. Not to get in between too much of the political stuff here. There have been airstrikes that have gone out multiple times over the past weekend, which a lot of people have thought it would interfere with Night of Champions. As of this recording, this is just for I guess historical sake, this show has not been canceled. It has not been moved. Nothing has happened, and obviously we're hoping everything goes well, and we're hoping that there is contingency plans in place in case something does happen. But there were reports that came out that there have actually been WWE staff that have been in Saudi Arabia for the past week and a half to 2 weeks, obviously setting up for the show. And there are people that have been on their way there now that have actually been caught in the crossfire of all of the airlines, basically putting delays on flights and things like that. A lot of the talent will probably be leaving in the next 24 hours of when we're recording this to go to Saudi Arabia. So nothing's been announced, and it looks like everything's gonna go forward.
It's definitely a scary situation, especially if you're, a talent and kind of like the temperature and intensity of everything that's going on overseas. Um, so all I can say is, I mean, in my opinion, there would be very little. It would you wouldn't know until the last minute if
Yeah.
the show was not going to happen, because WWE's kind of like motto is the show essentially is going to go on, and they have the booking there. They're going to see it through until they pretty much physically, or it becomes too much of a danger to be able to actually do so. But one thing would be unfortunate if they get over there and things continue to heighten over the next week or so. So, just wishing everybody at least a safe trip and just everyone come back. But Night of Champions will be happening. I mean, SmackDown's happening over there as well.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people who are going to be heading over to Saudi Arabia. So yeah, we'll probably get into the predictions of it a little bit later in the show, but it's definitely quite a an intense situation. The wrestling news circuit, I mean, we always have news. This is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's always
It's always
something crazy
something.
about this. Yeah, like something where it's like you can't never be like, "Oh, somebody stepped in some doo doo." But then
Yeah.
again, wrestling Twitter will probably find a way to politically tie that to something. The doo doo had Slim Jim on it or some shit like that. Like it just would something would always be a problem, bro. But something I want to bring up to you.
Okay.
And I don't know if you even want to grade how this is happening because a lot of them haven't actually been able to perform. What have been your thoughts of some of the released talent that have been on the indies? Like, what have you been thinking about? Like, what you've been seeing? I don't know if you've seen a match yet. Like what have you thought thus far of some of these people?
All I've seen is Or Mensa just got his visa so he could finally start working, which I guess is a pain in itself. So he hasn't been able to work. Shotzi and Elena Black are throwing themselves through various things.
Yeah,
Priscilla Kelly as well.
yeah.
And then also like seem to be very I haven't seen Priscilla Kelly yet. So I'm not sure if she has said anything regarding it, but if I had to imagine she'll probably end up in TNA. I'm not sure
Yeah,
though.
she came out or her husband's there, but, she came out and she was pretty amicable. I can't think of anything, like, that she said, other than, like, she got a good opportunity and she wished she had gotten more, but, she didn't really but she's definitely not been as talkative as, like, Atlanta Black has been this
Yeah,
whole time.
essentially like I would love to go work in AEW. I want to match with Mercedes, Monet. I want to be able to do all these other stuff like that. And I'm not sure how that reads from the AEW perspective of things. For as much news and as sources and things, we get news that Mercedes Monet was like willing to lose to people, but we don't get like the inside scoop on like what people think of Elena Black and Shotzi who previously like saying like I want to go AEW. Do you think there's a future there for me? Um, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes. But I mean, if I had to grade everyone, no one's really getting higher than a C. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
no
thinking that
one's,
too. I'm like, kinda disappointed.
yeah, no one has really changed their entire perspective or lives or look in any considerable fashion. No one has really stepped it up um, in a major way. Again, it's only been a month, but realistically, like you have all the time in the world to kind of course correct how you want things to go for you. And essentially, you have a lot of leverage as well coming from WWE and the platform that presents itself. So you kind of have a lot of leverage to say, like, I want to be able to do this, but under these kind of like rules and stuff like that. Or I want to be able to do this, but I don't see anyone really taking advantage of that kind of like opportunity. They're kind of still just
They just
going back to
to me,
doing whatever they're doing
it
or
always
trying
looks
to
like
prove that they can do these things.
they just wanna cuss and bleed.
Yeah, and I'm not I mean, I don't really see the benefit of that. I mean, I think Shotzi herself, for instance, was improving immensely in the ring, so I don't really know why she needs to go back to like throwing herself through a dozen chairs. And it's not that anything is wrong with that per se, but I think that it's a gross you have evolved, and I think your taste and how you present yourself should also be evolved as well for your own future. So, I mean, I can't the release list I mean, Braun Strowman is just like, nigga, I'm chilling. I don't give a fuck. I haven't heard anything about Braun Strowman since he got that show. Um, and
He's not he can't go. He can't
yeah, he should pretty much retire. But realistically, I haven't heard much from all the other NXT folk. And maybe it's an issue of like people aren't necessarily used to being able to navigate around the wrestling business as much as they more, especially if you're an athlete. Let's say you're a Jakara Jackson in your release. How do you know where to go?
Yeah.
Who do you know who to talk to? You kind of have to really lend yourself on connections to be able to do that, or get an agent and do shit other than wrestling. To be honest with you, the best best way to get back is to be able to present yourself as a bigger star if you want to eventually come back. Um, so yeah, no one's getting higher than a C. Everyone is pretty barely passing to failing this new thing. Um, did you get to watch AEW's Dynamite last week? It was the highest rated Dynamite in almost 18 months. I don't know why he's laughing.
No! No, I didn't watch that shit.
Hey man, they said, listen, Swerve said, listen, we ain't coming to taking over. We're here to like integrate ourselves to the audience. And he's like picking up Hemming Page for doing the entire promo in Spanish. And he's just like, we're not here to take it over. And I'm just like, bro, get a grip. Get off of it. Like it is what it is. It was I would say it's a notable show. I think it probably had more eyes because of the really heavily skewed towards a Hispanic audience that probably is not really there for watching AEW. Um, because who Hispanic do they really feature in prominent roles at all? Um, but also it was a special show that kind of just relied on matches and not really anything to kind of like stop the momentum of it. I say good on them for the momentum that they've had thus far, with things leading up to their biggest show. But I would kind of that's something I would expect leading into your biggest show. I would expect you to kind of like be on much more of a run for that. But Mercedes Monet won her sixth championship. She is now CML.
How'd you feel about that?
How I felt about it? I didn't feel strongly about it, but everyone else felt strongly for me, apparently.
Here's my question, and I guess this could be a conversation, right? Does this make her the greatest of all time that she has these titles on these shows that you don't watch?
Well, that's also the argument that people are trying to throw back at other people. It's like, why are you so mad you won all these titles from promotions you don't watch? I'm like,
Like,
nigga, you don't watch them either. Like the
well,
fuck.
I'm not mad. I'm just like, does this make her the GOAT? I don't to me, she's still not the GOAT.
To me, this doesn't scream goat status in terms of like stature and like all these accomplishments don't really seem it. This really feels like narrative wise, her trying to really get what she felt like she's owed for being a better wrestler than other people. Quite frankly, she is honestly the best female wrestler in AEW. It's not even close. And it's not even close because pretty much all of them are just kind of like barely either passing or kind of bad. Um, but realistically, you get to this point now where it doesn't really, the result of what's going to happen at All In, I don't think really makes sense either way. You've kind
Here's the
of built
thing,
her up so strongly where
she
she
has to
can't
win.
lose, but if she wins, you also feel stupid because why should she win? Why would you take the TBS title, TBS champion, and make them the world champion along with other 7 belts? It kind of like dilutes the entire purpose. At this point, they're doing like a branding thing with these belts. This is just to showcase other companies like RevPro, CML, all these other people. Like to me, this feels very like showcasing other places around the globe and using Mercedes as kind of like that uh eh, just to be able to show it off.
Yeah.
But I can't see a result. The match will be good, but I can't see a result that makes sense.
The result that makes sense is her winning.
But where do you go from there?
I don't know. I mean, she has to eventually lose all these titles. I think like the thing
They
is
haven't
like
even positioned they haven't they're doing a casino women's battle royal, which is great, but they haven't positioned any you do these things and you want to be able to in parallel uh position someone to be able to take it off of her. And it's not gonna be technical because she just got her ass whooped last week. So I can't imagine who it'd be. Athena can barely get on the she gotta complain to get on the damn show. You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying? Like there's
mhm.
no real viable alternative to these 2 women. And I think Tony Storm is great, but where do you go from there if she loses the title? It's a I don't know if it's a conundrum that they put themselves in, but I feel like they don't see it as a conundrum. They see it as they told Mercedes when she signed, I'm sure, "We can make you the greatest female wrestler on earth."
Like other than like internet, like here's the thing. Here's my thing, right?
Mhm.
And I want people to be completely level here. Like just be completely level here, okay?
Golf.
I'm being as nice as possible. What does it mean if the G League tells you you're the greatest of all time versus the NBA telling you you're the greatest of all time?
Alright. I
I'm
didn't
just
even see that. I
see,
didn't see that coming at
I'm
all.
just answer my question. What is the difference? What does it mean if the G League calls you the GOAT or the NBA calls you the GOAT, right?
Mhm.
What would you what do you take as fact? at that point. Whatever you see, right?
I'm gonna take whatever I kind of see.
And and
Ultimately, at
and
the
you're
end.
and when you're facing the top competition, right? The top
Mhm,
competition is always in the top company, right?
mhm.
Stop. I'm not gonna lie to myself anymore and say that the top competition is in the G League. It's people that could be in the NBA. But if you are a star, if you're a fucking Rudy Gay or fucking that's too old, right? Who's the current nigga? If you're a
Current old nigga?
current Kevin Durant,
Kevin
you know what I'm
Durant, there you
saying?
go.
And you go to the G League, you busting niggas over the head. You got mad titles. You going crazy, dropping 40 a night. Do people look at that differently than they do the NBA, don't they? Like people would look at him
I mean,
differently.
sure. I mean, they don't look at it at all.
What I mean, I mean, as far as legacy goes,
They don't look at it at all. I mean, in
right?
terms of the G League, I mean, shout to Isaiah Hartenstein who just won an NBA title this week, but he was also a G League champion and the G League MVP and the G League thing. And it's really a footnote in his career, to be honest with you, because you don't really work to succeed in the G League. You work to succeed in the major leagues.
I'm just saying, like, I don't see how her beating Tony Storm, another big league to G
But
League
she's been in
star.
both, right? Like devil's advocate, she's been in both leagues.
She's been in both leagues for sure. She's been in both leagues. She's performed at the highest level. I think there was a ceiling for her at one of those leagues because the character wasn't there.
Hmm.
I think people need to be honest that the character wasn't there.
I agree.
We seeing it on TV every week in terms of who got the character, who doing the character work right now. There's a real
Right.
compelling story happening on Raw right now. I think people are kind of looking at that, but it's actually kind of good.
I
Like,
think the her character work limits her because she's not able to be as versatile as she can as you need to be able to maneuver around in WWE. And I think it's a situation that affects Charlotte. It's a situation that affects Mercedes. It's low key a situation that affects Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes is not really a big subject right now. But
no,
it's
you want to make them one? You want to make them one? I mean,
no, no,
we
no.
could.
We're good. We're good. But it's a subject. Low key. It also I mean, Roman Reigns has shown range, but
Mhm.
now I feel like he's also limited himself in certain ways just based on how the character kind of like is. But I think Mercedes, she has kind of Mercedes is Sasha, and Sasha is Mercedes.
Yeah, it's the same
And
person. It's the same
it's
person.
the same gimmick.
Is she a heel anymore?
Yeah, she's still a heel.
She doesn't do heel things. She doesn't cheat to win. She wins clean
She
all the
beats
time.
everybody up because she's the best wrestler in the world.
Exactly. What character is there? Like she's not a heel, she's not a face. She just is. She just is whoever I think she's whatever people purport her to be and put themselves into for her. I think it's very strange the narrative surrounding what this win would do for her. And as we get into All In, I would love to do like a big blowout All In special with the War Report guys. Just so
I would be
we can really talk about where this company has to go after this show because
I'm down.
they're at an inflection point, Meals. And I think that like people, you know, they can act like it all they want to. That everything's fine and hunky dory. I see these arenas. I see these arenas. I'm not
I
getting fooled.
mean,
I'm not getting fooled by Grand Slam Mexico. All right, I'm not getting fooled by that. I'm not
I
dumb.
agree. I agree. I it's just it's an interesting position that they're in with that women's division because there is nobody else. And I think they made it abundantly clear. I mean, the large complaint was even the Arena Mexico show, you had to wait an hour and 45 minutes to even see women wrestle. And then it happened for 7 minutes. She won the title and no one else was featured. So then they gave them this kind of like collision match, main event, death slot. Can't tell you what happened in that match, but it's to really build up Athena versus Thunder Rosa, which is now the secondary women's title match, which is an ROH title match, which means that people aren't really seeing what happens on ROH because where are they watching ROH? I guess YouTube. Um, but it's a they I don't know. To me, it's a make it make sense kind of angle for me.
If she beats Tony Storm, my question is, what's next? Because then are her fans who are so rabid whenever she took a loss in the WWE going to be okay with her losing 8 times in a row?
She's not losing all them belts.
Exactly. So, like, but again, when are we gonna have the conversation? But again, then again,
But also
we
but
talking some
also the
idiots.
idea you're right. The idea is how does she lose the TBS title? If she wins the world title, does she even how could you excuse her losing the TBS title?
And again, people got upset that Stephanie Vaquer, or they, I won't say upset. They got peeved that she dropped the title, but it's like there was no use for her to where she was at that point that
Right.
early to take the L for that title, especially when she had some, she was realistically probably going to go up to the main roster, right? I don't see that
Mhm.
trajectory for Sasha. She's just holding these titles for no reason, just so people can say she's the great. To me, as much as on the interviews and stuff, she says otherwise. This is clearly, in my opinion, compensating for what she believes she should have got in the WWE.
I mean, yes. I mean, it's not only just her compensating, it's all of her fans. It's a she calls herself the Beyonce of wrestling, which I think is a terrible tag because you couldn't even it's not even close. Like
Yes, it's
it's
not close
maybe
at all.
The Ashanti, but like the Beyonce.
I'll give her I give her Rihanna, maybe.
I even think
No, I don't think
Rihanna's a big
Rihanna. I don't
star.
think Rihanna. I don't think Rihanna.
It's a
Who is the
but she
Beyonce? Who is the Beyonce?
the Beyonce of wrestling.
Yeah. Is it Bex?
Um, it would have to be someone who is like a major. I don't think there's a Beyonce of wrestling. There's not really a major women's draw. Well, Becky is, but like I don't know. The tag of Beyonce of wrestling is just something to appeal to people, or at least connect the dots in kind of a way. But you're forcing it because you're not the Beyonce of wrestling. Well, you're
You
like the
know who
money long.
Beyonce is?
Yeah, you're like money long. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
You gotta you gotta be Flo Milli before
yeah. You gotta. But it just is what it is. I think she had the opportunity. And do you see her closer? Do you see a world where she stays in AEW? Like her contract eventually will come up. Do you see
No,
a world where she resigns?
no. Here's my thing though, Meelz. Having those titles don't make you the GOAT. They having a character that people can follow from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 makes you the GOAT.
I think Tony Storm will be probably the greatest AEW women's wrestler of all time, whether Mercedes wins all these belts or not. There's a genuine connection with Tony Storm. There is a genuine character development with Tony Storm. She I watched her promo on Collision. It was fantastic. She has much more range. She has much more appeal. She has much more of these other things compared to Mercedes. Mercedes is really just great in the ring, unfortunately. Um, so it is what it is. People gonna say we hating, but
I
um,
don't I don't give a shit about what people say about my Sasha opinions. I think that people, are extremely, um parasocial with her and a lot of wrestlers, and I just don't think I have that same vibe about literally anything in the world, so I don't really give a
yeah,
shit.
because I don't really like when they're like you're demeaning black women by saying these things. I'm just like, bruh, for having an opinion on someone based on all the things that were presented to me.
Yeah, exactly. I
Uh,
don't give a fuck.
let's see. What else do we got here? Uh,
We can talk about the shows.
yeah, we can talk about the show. Do you see Cedric? Cedric's in TNA now.
Hey,
He didn't go.
respect your wife. That's all I gotta say. Respect
Hey
your wife.
man, happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying? Happy wife,
Yeah.
happy life. Let me see. Let me see what else is in the news reports before we head over to the shows. I just wanted to completely make sure. Oh, Kota Ibushi's back.
Uh-huh.
He returned on Collision.
Word,
He will
word.
have a match this Wednesday, so we'll be able to see if he can actually wrestle. Um, Let me see. I'm rolling through. Shout out to the Daily Smart. It's just makes our lives easier. Um, Carl Fredericks. known as what's my man's name?
Oh, Eddie Thorpe.
Eddie Thorpe
I gotta
said on
call
Twitter.
foul on this nigga. I gotta call foul on him because
Said,
I'm
I
like,
asked for my release from WWE so I could do something fucking meaningful with my life.
whatever. Listen, no one's ever fucking clamoring for you to do anything.
Yeah, I was just like, bro, he was like, I wanted to DJ in Vegas and they wouldn't let me. And I was like, bro, who cares? Like, bro, just DJ at home. I don't know what to tell you. DJ at the PC.
Like,
Your
why would
DJing gimmick was ass. I don't know.
and why would they be like, "Yes, do that"? That wasn't even his character at the time, by the way.
Yeah, not at all. And it's Vegas because they're probably like, bro, we got mad. We cannot keep up with everything that's going on. We would have to bring someone with you. Like, we're not gonna do this. Um,
What do you wanna be next to Metro Boomin?
Apparently. Let's see. Is there any more news? Backstage report on Machine Gun plans if they were signed to AEW. So we knew this from a while ago.
Yeah, we
Discord
did.
talk.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it finally came to Fightful Select that they were actually supposed to face the Bucks at FTR if they went to AEW, and then apparently WWE called them and they just stopped responding to AEW. So it is what it is. I think we can finally get into the shows.
Yeah.
Let's get into the
Um,
shows.
SmackDown, one major issue, I thought it was a fine show. One major issue is I don't like what they're doing with the tag team division. Um, I don't like it. I don't like it. They've killed them off for seemingly no reason.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I mean, one match and you get a title shot. I mean, come on. How many of the tracks team have to win?
Yeah, and
Um,
that's happening on Friday. Fraxim has been completely cooled down. Profit's been completely cooled down. I listen. I get that there are a lot of moving parts happening right now, but these division held this fucking show up when it was on life support over the last couple of months. Like it was these teams.
I'll say this. I don't think the Wyatt Six will win.
I hope they don't.
I don't think they win. I think they just I don't know, they're mid carders, bro. Like, just let's just start treating them like they are. Like, why are we the smoke and mirrors and all these other concepts is cool and the ode to it is great and all this other stuff like that, but treat them as they are. They are mid carders, bro. I'm gonna face the War Raiders and New Day or some other bullshit like that, but don't take up time on the television with this shit. Um SmackDown, it seems like LA Knight is moving in a great direction, even though he's off TV for getting tsunami'd multiple times.
The off TV is I'm not going to Saudi. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. and
Um,
and we had another person who was like that as well this week. We were to talk about it on Raw.
he got the
The
he got the well. You know they're getting a day. They're getting July 4th off, so they're actually they're doing Raw and SmackDown same
Raw
time
and
next.
SmackDown. Yeah, that's why Raw airs at 3 p.m. your time next week.
Yep. So I literally will not know what to do after Raw is
Come
over.
on, man, back to the villa, baby. We watching the villa.
Villa might
we gonna
not
ch-
see me past Wednesday, bro. I'm not
Hey
gonna lie to
man,
you.
hey man. We gonna have to we gonna figure it out. Let's talk about the main event angle. I think that's probably the most important part. Um, John Cena faced Ron
Oh no! Oh
Killings.
no! 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 No!
Oh
Jacob
wait.
Fatu in solo
Oh
had
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
had like a
Sorry.
20-minute segment. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna cover that because they have a match on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Um, and I guess John Cena and CM Punk do, but I guess this main event angle was much more noticeable based on the callbacks that it was. So John Cena has a match against R Truth. It's a,
You care to talk about that?
when that shit started at 10:34, I was like, they giving them 20 minutes.
You care to talk about what we saw in that? I think that
It wasn't much, to be honest with you. It felt like a an ends to a mean. You saw R Truth pulled up mean mugging Aleister Black. Truth, Black. So let's see if that's the direction moving forward. Um, but ultimately, we get to the point. CM Punk shows up, interferes within the match. We get this entire segment. He eventually, John Cena AA's CM Punk through a table, and it sets up the callback from the pipe bomb promo. Now the John Cena pipe bomb promo, he's essentially people. I don't know. I was like, bro, this is a parody. I don't know why y'all taking this as seriously. Like this promo wasn't even that good. I was like, bro, it was a parody of a promo. It was. It was clear from the
It was
lines and
and
all
it was
this other
clear he
stuff like that.
was full of shit in that too, like, you're not supposed like, you were supposed to, in the pipe bomb, be either bewildered while he was doing it back in the
Yeah.
day, or be like the smart fan, like we were at the time, who were completely like, "Oh my god, this is amazing, this is incredible." Cena's not trying to do any of that.
Nah, he's not really. I knew from this weekend. Listen, from this weekend, he's in full troll mode. He's just having a good time. Like I saw him walking around Fanatics Fest doing bullshit. Like he was not. He did not. He's just having a good time in his final run. He's not trying to be serious. He's not trying to break the internet. He's not trying to do any of this other stuff like that. So for him shouting out Matt Cardona and Claudio Castagnoli and who the fuck else he shouted out.
Well, no, bro,
Um,
it's really about Matt and Nick Jackson and Hangman Adam Page, that was the secret,
he
you know what I mean?
he don't give a fuck about them niggas, man. He don't give a he's John Cena. He rich as fuck. Like what the fuck he give a fuck about the young bucks? Um, and if he wanted to, he would have said if he wanted to, he would have said that in the promo, but he didn't. Like clearly he played this within company lines, but also still told these things. But so I kind of want to ask, was this the best thing that John Cena has done as a heel? I'm mixed
I
on it.
I'm mixed on it as well. I generally think that just overall, I don't like this thing right now. Um,
I don't think it did whatever the intended purpose was it for it was supposed to be. I don't think actually, I don't know. I don't know what the intended purpose for this was. I
the
guess that's
intended
more kind
purpose
of like
was what they did on Raw was to have it in the video package.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
but the reality is I'm like,
my issue
are we
is
still trying to have him to be the villain?
yeah, like, just what I was about to get to. My issue is ultimately no one is actually reacting the way that they want them to react to this. I think
Yeah.
that's my biggest issue is that like no one is booing this. No one thinks that there is anything wrong with the way that he's acting at this point. They're barely kind of reacting to it in a negative way, and then he started riffing and starting to try to get cheers during the fucking promo.
You hear that?
I couldn't
They
fucking believe
understand.
I could not believe what I was seeing. I was like, he's literally trying to get cheers during this promo. So
I think it was a notable ending to SmackDown in a way that it's like, okay, something actually cool happened. But it was also it didn't really help the situation because if the intended purpose was for Punk to become a bigger face going into this, or for John Cena to be a bigger heel going into this, it didn't fucking work.
no, I think people love Punk the exact same way. People love Cena to death because
He's
it,
like, "You're Mr. TKO." I'm like, "I know this nigga not talking."
exactly, and it's like people love John Cena even more because he's John Cena, and it is his final time being in these places. Give the people something that they fucking want, and that is him to be a good guy at this point. I think that they're ending this. I wholeheartedly think they're ending this experiment at SummerSlam. That's the
I
only silver lining I have for this.
I'd imagine it too, because to be honest with you, again, this kind of stems from my issue last week with John Cena's run. It would be great. I love all the callbacks. I love listening to this as a fan. It would be great to create some new kind of history to spin off of from this. Um, instead of kind of like really leaning on the old stuff to kind of really garner this kind of reaction that doesn't really end up becoming anything. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think Punk Cena feud is memorable at all. And when you look at history of Punk and Cena's feud, it's one of the most emotionally charged man versus the system kind of thing. And realistically, this could have been the story too. Like it could have been CM Punk versus the system, which is John Cena, because John Cena is the coronated champion. He was helped by Travis Scott and he's backed by TKO and he has all these other things as well. But that isn't even the story here.
yeah.
It's weird. It just
No,
is what it is.
it is weird. I think it is weird, and again, like, it sounds like we're ragging on it a lot, but I think that, like, we truly have to speak about what's happened since March with this whole thing. I think we were all excited about it, and again, I stand on the fact that I think the turn should have happened at WrestleMania. It's gone too long, and I think there's been too many variables in this that just have not worked, the right way or ultimately any type of way since it has started or it has happened. I think that with this whole angle, you have a complete fan favorite that is being kind of ripped away from what we thought or what we believed that he was, and now it's just turned into kind of like I don't want to say routine, but like a routine heel act that I just don't think is like particularly interesting at all.
Yeah.
I and again, this should be a big deal. We wanted this, by the way. This was a match that we wanted. I think ultimately it's very rare that we kind of get what we want at the times that we want them to happen. But
Mhm.
we'll talk about it during the predictions. Like, I think this is going to be a fantastic fucking match. However, I might be doing more wishful thinking than I think right now. You think? 'Cause
Yeah.
it could possibly not be because of what we've seen from John Cena right now.
It's weird. I don't think Punk has really missed at all this year, but John Cena is just so hokey
Yeah,
that it takes away it takes a lot of the steam and a lot of the air and a lot of the competition out of the match when he does certain things. So it'll be interesting to see where this kind of goes. Can
yeah,
CM Punk really do something with this or not?
because as depleted as John Cena is, CM Punk is not depleted, but he also needs people in there that can work. I think the common denominator with all of Punk's matches is this all it's never been somebody, no disrespect, of his age bracket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's always been kind of people younger that he can fuel it with the story, they can fuel it with the athleticism.
Right.
And
And that's really it. The athleticism for sure.
yeah.
Um because he usually needs a lot of things to be able to I don't know. They've never really had a bad match.
Well, they might knock on wood.
So, but if one of them attempts a hurricane rana or some shit like that, I don't know. Um, if they again, what's your favorite Cena Punk match, by the way?
Oh my god.
The one from Raw
No,
before
no, 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 no,
before
no, no,
Mania?
no, nope. Gotta be a Night of Champions match when he came out with
Really?
the Yankee pinstripes. It's that one to me, and then Money in the Bank second.
I love the Raw match. I think the Raw match is the one before WrestleMania 29,
Yeah, the one where
where
the winner gets the rock.
yeah.
It's so
So
strange.
that match is so cool to me. That's like a real great television main event. So that one is usually my favorite, but, it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Monday Night Raw, CM Punk, Seth Rollins kicks off the show. I honestly don't remember what he said.
He was just talking he ran down all of his opponents, and he basically I think they're doing a very concerted effort to get people to stop cheering for him. So he
Mm,
basically ran down all of the opponents and saying, "I got Roman Reigns out of here. Punk ain't shit. Cena ain't shit. All these people, like, he just running everybody down." I'm really interested to see how his Money in the Bank run kind of goes, or how it ends, rather. I actually think that the LA Knight feud is very inspired. I'm not gonna lie. I think LA Knight has proven himself that he's ready to have this match with Seth Rollins.
I would be more I would like it more if there was the title on the line, like he had won the title already.
Mhm.
Um, I think it would be a great stepping stone for LA Knight in this instance, and especially a new challenger for him. Um, but the Seth thing, I'll save it. Donnie knows my. We were talking on the train. I had this hot take about Seth. I'm not going to share it right now. It's too hot. Um, but he then six Braun Breaker on Penta. What are they doing with Penta?
They need the slow burn.
Yeah.
They love a slow burn. I
I mean,
it's
he ends up looking better later in the night,
Yeah,
but
they're getting their slow burn on. They do this shit, and I fully believe that it will end in him and Gable. Because now what's the story here now? Like, he hurt Gable's arm, and now what if Grande has to have a match? I think that's
yeah.
the story here. Yeah.
So my only beef with this was I don't know what the result is for Braun Breaker winning this match. Like, what are we working towards? I ultimately I know what we're going towards with Braun Breaker. but I don't really think he necessarily needed to win this match.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it is what it is at this point. Everyone loves Braun. Yeah, the Money in the Bank qualifiers. I will say this: Cargo Roxanne is a wizard.
She did her big one.
She gets it, and she is someone who is necessary on that roster.
Yeah.
There are people. I mean, it's like her, the Lyras, the Baileys, everyone. There's people who are necessary on that roster for putting people like Jade in the position that she needs to be in. Jade needs to work on selling.
Arguably.
The knee was there, and then it wasn't, and then it was there again.
I was worried about that, and I was worried about, like, how that would be presented and how Roxanne would look particularly and how Jay would look. I think they looked great together. And I think even more than that, Meals, I love the fact that it didn't make Roxanne look bad in losing. I thought that the match was just so competitive in itself that it looked really great. Just as far as the way she had Jade working in a different way that she had before. But again, yeah, the selling is I've never really liked the way Jade sells moves. I feel like she's never had to sell in AEW, so it's very foreign to her to have to do that. And I need her to work with like AJ Styles or somebody in terms of
Yeah,
like knowing how to sell.
yeah. It's very very important to be able to and to be able to remember how to sell. Like the idea that your knee would get taken out, but then you would still do the kip up makes no sense
And
to
then not say,
me.
ah, fuck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'm just like, bro, then don't do it. Just get up. Just hobble your ass up. Like, I need them to sit in the. I don't know if Steve Austin will ever do a class.
He should. He's a
He
great seller.
he's a
Um,
great seller, but he's also a great waster of time.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he is someone who's like, I need to give him a couple minutes to catch his breath. Imma go do some shit over here, or Imma stumble over, or Imma, like, get slow to pick myself up. Like, the little intricacies of it, he gets it, and I think Jade
You know
needs
my
to
next
get that
thing?
as well.
You
What's
know my
up?
next thing? She needs to make it not obvious that she's about to win matches.
But
She
she
make
I don't
it
think she doesn't know to how to have a real competitive match with everybody yet,
okay. Yeah, she for sure needs to learn how to, like,
especially small girls.
she gave it the fuck away. I was like, "Please calm down."
Yeah.
Like,
She sh Yeah, yeah, you know what? You're right, yeah. I feel like even in that triple threat match with her, Naomi, and Nia, I was like, I could tell that you were about to lose. So yeah, she needs to kind of work on that. I think it comes with time. She's getting great reps. She's
How
getting
much
all these
more time would you give her, though?
hmm, I wouldn't have her I wouldn't have her win Queen of the Ring if that's what you're asking, but we'll
Okay.
get to that.
Yeah, I was literally
Um,
I was literally about to go there. Yes, okay.
but you need to she needs to be in a program.
Yes, absolutely.
She absolutely needs to be in some kind of, like, program. Low key, I liked her on Raw. I was like, "You know what?
She looked good there.
Yeah, she looked good there." And to be
But
honest with you, I think
you know
Go
what it
ahead.
is with Raw? You know what it is with Raw? They got the real beaters on Raw. They got, like, the real people that can help her. I don't
Yeah,
think her and Tiffany, as they stand trying to improve right now, should be on the same show.
but
That's just
then you
what I think.
also have Bianca who will return,
Yes. Yes.
and there's something lingering with them, but I think you can still get away you can prolong that even by having them on different shows. So, who knows? Um, do you care about anything Gunther and Goldberg related before we hit Saturday night's main event, or you just
Well,
wanna
Goldberg
mosey on?
Goldberg did a really good promo. I thought the promo was believable. Um, and I think that anyone that was doubting that this would be like a big deal or this would have some type of weight, I thought that the Goldberg promo with the subsequent Gunther promo after that really proved that this is going to be really cool.
Here's my thing, with the Goldberg stuff, and this is the point that I agree with you with on this. If R-Truth can have one more run, why not Goldberg?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I agree with that tenfold. I agree that both should have some sort of, lasting thing that before they ride off into the sunset. But Goldberg especially.
Mhm.
Goldberg has done so much for the business. Goldberg is still a major draw. Goldberg is such a name. I was talking to Donnie about like where people we were talking about ranking people in kind of like tiers, right? S tiers, A tiers, B tiers, C tiers. All these people on the show. And the difference between an A tier and an S tier is really like how you're able to draw.
Yep.
Goldberg is an S tier person and should be treated as such. And the fact that this isn't even happening at a pay-per-view. They aren't taking up a 4 month they aren't taking up the next 8 weeks of your time for SummerSlam. It's ending in July.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what else? One
what up?
thing that, like, people miss and they lose, and I think that, like, what one thing that, like, old school wrestlers, like, they kind of still have, and I think that I want younger wrestlers to kinda pick up on as well.
Sure.
Goldberg has never lost his aura. He's never
Right.
lost aura, and when he cut that promo and said he's gonna beat the fuck out of Gunther, I said, "Whoa." Like, you kinda forget all of the foolishness that surrounds a lot of his matches, like all of the clumsiness. Because I mean, again, like you talk shit about the clumsiness and all that shit all you want. That's kind of why people are endeared to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like he's so fucking crazy that people fuck with that. Like that is a superhero. You know what I mean? That is like a superhero in that form. And that promo was like, I was like, I'm ready. Like, I don't need to see nothing else. Like, that was the promo for me. And, I'm pretty sure they'll have him come in probably next week or whatever. He's going to spear somebody in the next couple of days. But I thought it was good. I have no complaints. I got no,
Yeah. It's
nothing
just
to say about it.
I don't know, it feels disrespectful. It feels weird. Like we gave the same space to Sting to have his farewell in AEW. We gave same space for a lot of Undertaker was well past his expiration date when he finally did expire. Um, we gave so much country. We gave country to The Rock. Y'all niggas want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and The Rock can barely move for 20 minutes without huffing and puffing and sitting the fuck down.
They was begging for
So
it. They was begging for The Rock to come back, Meelz.
yeah. So it's like let Goldberg do. Goldberg don't even have the post where niggas was laying out match times for Goldberg. I was like, you must be new to Goldberg.
Like, I'm like, I looked at that match time tweet and I was like, fucking awesome. He never wastes my time and he gives me
Yeah.
exactly what I want.
I was like, oh yeah, the 10-minute match. That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, "Bro, he never wastes my time, and he's always giving me what I wanted." What more do I need to complain about? Like, what
Absolutely.
your point, he beat Hulk Hogan in 5 minutes. So what?
Hey man. It was awesome when it happened.
He beat,
Uh
Brock Lesnar in, like, 2. So, again, what are we doing? Anyway,
um Becky, Lyra, Bailey.
what a
How
good
you
match.
feeling?
What a good match. It was a good match.
I like the match.
Bailey's a little bit shit, I had to tell Bailey, like, "You need to pump your brakes." All she doing is talking to you.
Amen. What do you mean? Who? Lyra?
Yeah, all she was doing was talking to you. Goof
Lyra
ass
annoying as hell, bruh.
goof ass nigga. Hold on. You're not about to do
What
that, nigga.
what Lyra came in the match unannounced, everything like that, trying to prove a point, and then at the end was like, "I thought we were like a team." I was like, she Baylor's like, "Bitch, what you talking about? This was an intercontinental title match. Like, what part of team is that? Why would you start going in and start kicking her around and shit? Like, damn, bro." So anyway, triple threat,
Yeah, I think no, well,
evolution.
no, I don't think so, man. I truly believe there's something to Becky being in the background of that conversation, and, like, if what I hope happens, I'll be pretty hyped, and that being, I think Lyra is gonna take the lessons from the learning tree, so to speak, no Chris Jericho, and, apply that to her life and be Becky's minion, be Becky's friend.
I see evolution happening. I don't see them running back Becky versus Bailey, but I also don't see them running back Becky versus Lyra either. So I feel like that triple threat is happening. We got Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley. Well, that's gonna happen on the pay per view, so we can talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit
We
later.
should just go ahead and talk about
Um,
that, or unless you
yeah,
wanna talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
the main event.
Yeah, the main event was awesome. What a great main event.
D
I
isn't
was
it ain't it just different when Cody's back?
Yeah, when he's wrestling on the show,
Yes.
yes. When he's wrestling on the show, it's awesome. I love to see that Cody's like part of the competition. And so many people complain about how the King of the Ring didn't matter in past years just because it was people they didn't care about. Well, there was four niggas you cared about. And Randy Orton beat Sami Zayn and Cody beat Jey Uso in a fantastic match. I was too distracted by this. I don't know if you know this news. This is in the gambling community, by the way. Um, it was a big gambling night for baseball. A lot of people made a lot of money. So now FanDuel has said we're now voiding people's bets if we see too many people making the same bet.
That's
So
not how betting works, by the way. That's all I'm gonna
so
say.
I agree. I said everyone is now moving away from it because a lot of people someone made $100,000 last night, just flat. From the same 6 niggas that I betted on as well, but I didn't make $100,000.
Y'all need to, watch out for them Russians, bruh, because 'cause
Hey,
they're watching
man.
what y'all do.
Hey, listen, man. I all I need is 100K. I would never be on LinkedIn again, bro.
When I
Um,
get my position, when we get our jobs, can we make a blood pact to just deactivate our accounts?
yes. Yeah. I'll do that. Shit. At least for a year. Like, get me out of here, bro.
I am
I don't want
deactivating my LinkedIn. Whatever I've applied for, in the last year, they can have it. They, you'll call me if you want me. You'll call me if you want me, but ultimately, I am not keeping that account. I'm sorry.
let's move to Night of Champions, Clash of Champions, Champions of Champions. It
Yes.
is hailing from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Um, it's gonna be the night after SmackDown of Champions, I'm assuming. Um, no. Well, let's see what's happened on SmackDown this week. Let's see.
SmackDown's
SmackDown.
got Tiff versus Nia Jax in the last woman standing match. It's got a tag team title
We
match
we
between
assume who's winning that. We
yes.
assume who's winning that.
We have the tag team
Um,
title match between the Wyatt Six and the niggas. Who are they? The Wyatt Six and the
Street
Street
Profits.
Profits.
Who you got? Who you got winning that one?
I think the Wyatts are gonna win this match, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Uh,
sorry to let you
sorry,
down.
the Street Profits. Yeah, they didn't even get the Metro Boomin theme yet. Um,
Um,
let's see.
who
What's
else?
this SmackDown? It is the Women's United States Championship match between Zelina Vega and Julia.
Yeah, come
I,
up off
I'll,
that.
do you think they let Zelina hold it at least until SummerSlam? It's
No,
in the tri-state area.
come up off it.
Like, well,
Come up off it. I don't
she's.
care.
I'll get you a ticket.
The rumor has been that Julia is about to get a major, major push, on SmackDown, so maybe she could get that win if that's the only way she gets a SmackDown match, but, like, I can't see any other reason other than that. Or not a SmackDown match, but a PLE match, but I can't see any reason other than that.
I would book it so Julia hurts the fuck out of Zelina after Zelina somehow manages to win, and Zelina's on the shelf for a little bit. Julia does a little bit of a run. Maybe Zelina returns. They book another match somehow in the future. I just felt like we can get a little bit more out of this match.
Ain't
All right.
none. Ain't none to
Night
get
of
out of it.
Night of Champions. Night of Champions from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Talk about it. Who
Yeah,
we got on the card?
6 matches. Kinda
6
shocked here,
matches.
but
2 championships on the line. It has never been less of a night of champions.
we're crowning 2 kings and queens, so I guess that's part of the championship
Okay.
lineage.
I
Um,
guess they should have just called it King and Queen of the Ring, like they
Sammy
did last year.
I don't know why they took that branding away. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross was announced on Monday night.
Mm,
There was a huge, huge, huge contingent of people that have been waiting for Karrion Kross to kinda have a match or do anything of
that's a
consequence on this
that's a
show.
lot of huges, by the way.
You gonna let me talk, nigga?
I
Or are
will. Go
you
ahead,
mad?
man.
You
This
upset?
you this. Nah, I mean,
Anyway, what was I gonna say? This nigga interrupted me. Do you think this is proof that Karrion Kross is potentially resigned? Because usually you don't when you're not being used or you're not about to be resigned, they kinda they ice you out, but he's got a match in the PLE.
It would be incredibly fucked up if it wasn't. But I do think that, I do think that he has, this is proof that maybe things are looking up for him. Um, but damn, this is a long time coming. This should have happened before WrestleMania, by WrestleMania at some point. Um, so to me, you know, shout out to him. He's getting the pops and stuff like that. To me, the ring work ain't, don't make the thing work, but it just, you know,
Whatever. This match should be a good way to get Sami his heat back after, like, pretty devastating loss. I was actually pretty shocked that Randy won the match on Friday night. I did not expect that for Randy
did
to win
you
that match.
did you see the rumors online though
What was the rumors?
that Wade Keller has been saying that Karrion Cross cannot take a back bump at all,
For
and people have
Randy?
been no, Karrion Cross cannot take a back bump in the ring.
Why?
He just hasn't. And people uploaded clip from a couple some of the matches. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of matches, but they upload clips of like his last main event match with who'd he had it with? Toro Del Cruz, and he legit avoids taking back bumps pretty much that entire match. I don't know if it's a thing. He might be doing some honky tonk man shit. You know what I'm saying? He might try to preserve himself long term, but there's just various points where he'll land on his hip, he'll land on his thing, he'll throw someone and land on his back. So maybe that's a thing.
Wait, I'm looking at a video. Why will he not What the fuck is going on?
You see it though, right? I didn't want to say because the account is also someone that I don't fuck with at all.
Oh,
Um,
wait. Oh, that's why he did that strange knee thing on the Alexander, Hammerstone match. Remember when he took that suplex and he landed on his knees?
yeah,
Can I send it to you?
please
Wait,
do.
Imma Discord it. Imma send it on Discord, sorry, just because I'm on my, PC. No
Yeah,
fucking way.
I was watching the match this morning and I was like, why isn't he taking a back bump?
Wha well, why does Wade say why?
No, I haven't actually heard it. This is just scuttlebutt from what I've seen online. But apparently, Wade has been screaming for the Twitter post that I saw is Wade has been screaming this for years that he will not take a back bump.
This is so fun. I don't know if this is fucked up or funny.
Bro, he definitely lands on his feet.
Bro, why did he land like that? He could've that would wouldn't that hurt him way more than landing on his back would?
I mean, it
For
would
one
make him look way less stupid.
that's
Plus,
a freaky ass way to sell something.
let me listen. Sami Zayn has an exploder suplex in his arsenal that he got to get off at least a match, or the Blue Thunder Bomb.
That's not
I'm
happening.
I'm watching this match very closely this weekend. Because if this nigga
What?
lands on his knees with a Blue Thunder power bomb, I'm gonna start screaming.
Hey, 4K, no back bump. Hey, I get it.
Him and it's only him and the honky tonk man who don't bump.
That is so funny. I got tears in my eyes right now at this freaky ass sell that he did against Hammerstone, bruh. Oh, I think Sammy's gonna win this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Sammy, why not? And maybe
I mean, how much further can he get from rock bottom? You know what I mean? Like, like Sammy needs to win this match. But then we have Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley in a street fight. Um,
some say they're reheating nachos.
between who?
Rhea and Raquel from NXT.
Oh, that it was good as nachos though. The fuck
They were
wrong?
great. They were great. No, this was a
They were great. Uh,
this a street fight. I mean, everybody about to be in jumpsuits and
I love
you
that they
know,
didn't call it a Saudi Arabia street fight because I
of
think
course, right?
that implies I think that implies something very
Yes, it could go down, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, man.
I
Saudi Arabia street
unpopular
fight.
opinion unpopular opinion, I think, Raquel's gonna win this match.
I mean, they should, yeah, give it to Raquel. If they wanna if I have any if they assume if I assume what they're gonna do is what they're gonna do, Raquel will win this match, and then, Nikki Bella potentially.
Nikki Bella could also potentially be in Saudi Arabia. For what reason she would have
Nah,
taken that
nah,
flight,
no, no,
bro,
no.
she got alimony to pay. She got alimony to pay meals.
Come on now.
It's rough out here, nigga. It's rough. She gotta pay that child support.
Don't hop on that flight to Saudi.
I'm
Do
just
something else,
saying.
man.
I'm just
I saw her
saying.
at Fanatics Fest. She don't need to be doing all that.
I'm just saying. Listen, you gotta pay
What's the
bills.
next match? What's
Um, oh, I think Roxanne's gonna help, Raquel win.
Raquel win,
Uh,
yeah.
Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. I'm enjoying this. I saw a post from a wrestling site that said, uh, "Is Solo being tied to the bloodline keeping him down?" I'm just like, he hasn't effectively been tied to them in like 6 months, so I don't really even know what he's talking about here.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, they introduced Jimmy to this shit for whatever reason.
He ain't doing nothing.
Jimmy was about to be in a tag team with R-Truth, and look how he ended up. Um, but yeah, the segment on SmackDown where so it's gonna happen in Riyadh apparently, right? Solo is
Yeah.
supposed to, "Hey, nigga, give me an answer." Um, if you or did that happen this week? Am I bugging?
That happened. That
No,
already happened, bro.
that happened this week.
Happened on the show. It was like a 20-minute segment.
I fucking
Um,
forgot.
Solo said, "I need you. I want you. I love you." Jacob said, "Oh, you love me, huh?" Jacob is hilarious, bruh. It was a really good segment. I think that again you kind of have to stack the deck against Jacob, but he's a face now, so you give Jimmy the kind of like that grace of being like, hey, we left the confines of that group. It might be time for you to do that as well.
Right.
I think that they're effectively building a very good baby face. It just, to me, is like what would happen if Umaga could speak, but then also was sentient enough to break away from Armando Estrada, right? Like that is what we have here is like this beast who is now just coming to think on his own and really appreciate his own worth. And I think that's a really good story. And I've always thought it was a good story.
I
Um,
think so as well.
but I'm not confident he's coming out of this match as the winner. There's that 6 foot tall, weird, whack looking nigga that's still in the shadows, and they love to debut a new member in Saudi Arabia. I think that would probably be what happens here.
I can see Solo winning it. Solo never wins.
Until he
I'm just
does.
I'm gonna just bet on Solo tanking right now. Tanking for picks.
I
You know
would
what I'm saying?
trust me. I wish I didn't have this prediction because I think that it's much cleaner, in my opinion, for Solo or Jacob to lose to someone else that can actually defend this title against a wide variety of opponents. But that's just where I'm at right now with it. I do think it needs this title needs to become detached from the title in a lot of
I also
ways.
think that Solo doesn't even wrestle that. I think his character has lent itself to being so much more than a wrestler. That I don't know if he needs the belt, but I mean, stranger shit has happened.
Yeah, yeah, and
I'm giving it to Jacob Fatu. I think he retains.
okay. Jacob Fatu it is. You want to do the final? I don't.
Do the finals. Yeah,
Do you think John Cena's main eventing?
yes.
Actually, yeah. Let's. You're right. First final because it actually goes into my prediction. First final, Queen of the Ring tournament final. Asuka versus Jade Cargill. Of course, Jade Cargill defeated Roxanne Perez on Raw. Asuka defeated Alexa Bliss in a really good match on SmackDown. I don't think we touched on that earlier, but
It was alright. I mean,
Asuka is
it was as good as Asuka and Alexa Bliss was gonna get, is what I said in the Discord.
um Asuka is kind of the measuring stick for what you're gonna get here. And I think Jade is kind of going through a lot of those right now. From Naomi to Roxanne Perez to Nia Jax to Asuka. Like that's a who's who. And your opinions on Nia Jax may, depending on where you stand on a dumb argument that doesn't make any sense. But
Right.
she's going through a lot of people that the company thinks very high of in terms of people who can make people. I'm willing to give Jade, like you said, like a kind of like a C grade for passing from these matches. Asuka to me is on that Charlotte Flair tier. She's a fifth horsewoman. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is kind of like put up or shut up. You got to show us something. I'm very interested to see how Jade will rise to the occasion on Saturday. I think
I
she's
do
winning.
I so the strong pick is that Jade wins this, right? I do think Asuka should probably win this, in my opinion. I think Jade should win the Rumble. Uh, just way more impressive, way more things to overcome. You can kind of narratively tell a better story of her overcoming Naomi at some point. Um, but Jade is box office at this point. But I don't think she's like Jade versus who?
They paying her for one. They're paying her too much to not be ready. I think
Yeah,
they're paying
but
her too
also
much to
like
not be ready.
Jade versus who? Like Tiffany?
Yes. Which I've said before, I said earlier in the show, I don't think that at the level that these two are at, like Tiffany is just now getting confident on the mic. You know what I mean? Like Tiffany's there. She's improving week to week.
I can't imagine the promos in this shit, man.
I know. Because the thing is that like Tiffany is kind of a better promo than Jade is right now. And if she says something that sets her off, we're gonna know about it because she's gonna be on Twitter talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like with Jade to me, Meelz, it's obviously improvement in the ring, but it's also like I'm not trying to even be mean. It's maturity. Like
Mhm,
I think that I see in her like a really great act, but I think that there were some things that were not kind of curbed, which obviously attitudes and stuff like that in AEW are never curbed. I think that like there might be things that happen that'll peeve her. Losing peeves her. You can tell she gets really upset about it. You know what I mean? Even though it's not real at all. But like I think that I truly think they want to do this Bianca, Jade, Naomi kind of trio thing because they've been
mhm,
building this story for so long.
mhm.
Asuka, Io, you can do it whenever. You could do it whenever. But also, Asuka will probably have a better
Li
time wrestling
listen,
Stephanie McCarr through the fall.
hey, man, listen, Queen Asuka, I'm here for
I
it.
hear you. I hear you. I hear
Queen
you.
Asuka versus Io, you put that on paper?
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
I
Like,
know. It's
a
fire.
against J if I had to choose between Asuka versus Io and Jade versus Tiffany, strictly as a fan, right? Which match I wanna see. I'm trying to get in the casual space, but I can't because one is just way awesomer than the other one. But to me, I can't imagine I can't imagine Tiffany versus Jade. Not at where they're currently at.
I know. I know.
Because Jade is not a heel, Tiffany is not a heel. So they both have to people
Well,
like Tiffany.
Asuka and Io are not heels,
Not yet. I mean, Asuka.
but they're not heels yet. Well, you could say the same thing about those two.
Asuka is a Asuka's a badass. Um, I don't know. I guess
You prefer that match, and it's completely fine that you prefer
I
that match.
prefer Asuka versus Jade for
Yeah.
sure. I
Uh,
can't yeah, Jade versus Tiffany don't rock well with me. It can't I
I
don't even
think
know why they
that
putting Tiffany in these positions. Just take the title off of her.
for what? Hold on, for what? For what?
Uh, She needs better build. Again, she for someone who cashed in and won money in the bank, she's got a good reign, a good long reign.
Io also had a pretty lengthy reign when she was about 100 some days. I think Tiffany's there, about 100 some reign, 100 some days.
Uh, Io won from SummerSlam and lost it at WrestleMania. So it's considerably longer, but she had great
I think I
opponents in the
think it's
ring.
about I think it's about the same, isn't it?
No, no, it's not.
Yo,
One is from April to August, one is from August to April.
I don't feel like doing
April
math.
to August
Somebody
is
will
like
correct
4
this.
months.
Somebody will correct this
Yeah,
in the chat.
April to August is 4 months, August to April is about 8 months.
I
That's how
don't
the
think
year works.
there's anything wrong with what Tiffany's doing right now. She is one of the most popular women on SmackDown. In the absence of Bianca, you kind of need somebody to have people react in that way. I think that they really want to have the Naomi cash in mean something, especially against somebody, two people that she's wronged before, and they have wronged her. Um, so I think that like, or one of them has in her mind wronged her, but I think that the story to me has always been that it's Tiffany Jay wins the title and Naomi cashes in on her. I don't know if Jay's gonna be cool with that,
Mhm.
but I think it's a better story, and then have Bianca show up, and then you kind of can have Jay turn heel or do whatever you want at that point.
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, Jade is gonna win. It just is what it is. All signals is pointing towards
With
Jade.
us with Asuka and Io, like I said before, you could do that whenever. But I also feel as though there's a better path for Asuka helping get newer girls over, like Stephanie Vicaire, like Roxanne Perez, getting them ready to get to where she is at right now. Because
But I think
there's
Asuka can do that as champion. I think she will much better do that as
beating them,
champion.
no, and beating them, no, because she's
Mm.
gonna have to beat them as champion. She's going to she Asuka's got to start kind of giving back. She's at that
I don't
point.
mm, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Stephanie Vicaire
Um,
by far is probably hotter than Asuka is right now.
yeah, but Asuka is the more you can get Stephanie Vicaire there in the chase to Asuka. Even if Asuka beats her once,
I
you
don't think they
know
see
that
it that way.
Stephanie will beat her eventually.
I don't think they
Like,
see it that way. I think they're ready to rocket ship her after this is over.
we'll see.
You could still get
Um,
Asuka Io. I'm just saying you could still get Asuka Io on SummerSlam. I still think you for sure will probably get your wish because Rhea's wrapped up in something else. Roxanne's wrapped up in something else. The only people that aren't really doing anything is Io and Vicaire right now in Asuka. But I think Jay's gonna win. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. We thought we were getting this at Mania. They said nope. You're getting it in Saudi Arabia, nigga. King of the Ring tournament final. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso had a great fucking match on Raw. I have no reason to not believe this is the same case here. I'd say maybe two crossroads kicked out of and two RKOs kicked out of during this
how
match.
long how long until Randy Orton beats his ass?
Probably when he gets the title back. I am full on in the theory that like yes, I do agree with you from a couple of weeks ago, Meelz, that Jay Cena would probably really be interesting and a cool match to do. Um, or you know something
I guess they
of that
can't
manner.
really. I guess it's not in the rules.
Yeah, it's not in the rules. They really couldn't, or you know anything that would have subverted that right would have been cool for SummerSlam. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm full on the thought that they want to end the Cena experiment relatively soon. You don't want the last 4 months to go forward this way with you not having turned him yet. And having the people go out on a heel Cena is just not the way they want to do it. Um, I think Cody, they're ready more than anything for him to have the title back. I think they need to for sure shake up SmackDown before that happens. So that because when you look at it right now, Meals, if he wins the title again, he's looking at literally the same field of competitors that he had before he lost the title on SmackDown.
Yeah.
We
Cody
only
still got to
added
face Punk, Randy. We still got some juice left for Cody. We still got
yeah,
some
like
juice in the squeeze.
so like you know you still have to there's just nothing left for Cena. I think at this point Cena needs to be doing side quests and having one offs with people on different shows. Um, Orton making it this far twice is cool. There's nothing in my being that wants to see Randy Orton and John Cena again after 2 months ago.
Nah, hell to the no.
Yeah, there's nothing in my being that wants to see that again. So Cody Rhodes, John Cena, that's your big time night two main event, which leads us into John Cena versus CM Punk for the undisputed WWE Championship. And the main event, I believe, um, we said this earlier in the show. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know what this is gonna look like. It could look bowling shoe ugly, like Jim Ross used to say.
Yeah.
We would never know. However, this is currently what we have at stake here. I think that the build has been moderately fine. I think it's been fine. But I don't think it's been Punk strongest on the mic. I don't think it's been Cena strongest on the mic either. I think that, my only wish at this point, Meals, is that this match is good. That's my only wish at this point.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, yeah, at this point, I mean, it is what it is. Um, John Cena's this his run has been botched, so it's not much you can kind of like do from here. But yeah, I would say so. He doesn't have that many dates. The next time after this show, he might be on next week's Raw. I forget.
He's in the next week. He's on the, I think he's
This
all through August.
Nah, why I heard I feel like I heard his next appearance isn't until the show before SummerSlam.
Hold on. Hold on.
John Cena appearances.
Where's the most recent one? I saw a tweet the other day.
John Cena's appearances. Let's see. Okay, so he has July 18th. Wait. He is June
June
20,
28th,
13th.
July 18th, August 1st, August 2nd and the 3rd. Those are SummerSlam
S-
dates. August 8th, August 22nd, August 29th, August 31st. That's Clash in Paris.
Where the hell you see that? So June 20th, right? So that was last week. Um,
27th,
and then
this
he's
Friday.
not back. You have the 27th?
Yeah, this Friday.
Okay, I didn't see that. I need a updated schedule. Um, the next day I see is July 18th. So
Yeah, I see that too, but I see the 27th. That might have just been at it.
okay.
SmackDown, him being on SmackDown makes sense the night before because he's actually shown up the night before pretty much every time he's been on the PLE, so that makes sense. Night of Champions, July 18th, August 1st. That's the SmackDown before SummerSlam, of course. He's always on the PLE before. August 2nd and 3rd. Well, it's kind of wishy washy. Like, we don't know when night one's going to be or what he's going to be on night one or night two. That's whatever.
This
August
nigga
8th,
might retire at fucking Survivor Series. You might not even make it to the end of the goddamn year.
August 8th, August 22nd, August 29th, and Clash at Paris. So I'm thinking he drops it at SmackDown, does a, an insane run on SmackDown after that, and then
Yeah.
does Clash of Paris. If I were to think, I'd say whoever beats him here, if he gets beat here, or if he gets beat at SummerSlam, he's getting a rematch at one of these shows.
Absolutely. Okay. So he's not gonna be on for the entire month of July.
Yeah,
They shifted his date apparently. That July 18th date was apparently moved to June 27th. So they shifted that date. So he's not going to be here for the entire of July. He has a SummerSlam match. So, oh yeah, all right, whatever. Cody's winning this shit, and
yeah,
Cena's winning this shit.
Cena's gonna win this match, and I think Cody comes out to do the stare down. And here's my thing with that. I don't think there's much these two can say to each other anymore that has not already been said. But I think that the story should be is that Cody needs to pull the trigger when he gets a chance and not turn away or turn down. The shot, to hit him with a belt, anything like that. That needs to be the story going into it. Pull the fucking trigger. You know what, man? I'm really, really upset at The Rock for putting us in this position.
I
This was
agree.
this was supposed to
This
be
was
great.
this is terrible creative. But you also know what? I'm kind of mad at Triple H too, because none of this has been good.
Yeah.
The Rock hasn't been involved since February. But the rest of this is just not, and I get your hands are tied because you can't really have, I mean, you have people in the ring and then it's John Cena, but you can't really do certain things, but you can have only certain things. Like, but also this just isn't good. Like narratively told, this isn't a strong, people are cheering him.
And
Do
this is your
something
year
about
long
this.
and this is your year-long program, by the way.
This is yeah, this is essentially the replacement for the bloodline shit. You know? So it's just not good. So who knows where we end up. Anyway, that's not champions. It's gonna be on Saturday. SmackDown will be early on Friday. So if you catch spoilers on the timeline, that's gonna be your ass. Because it's gonna be 3 hours worth of spoilers. I'll tell you that. Get the VPN, watch it on Netflix. If only we had a VPN sponsor. But SmackDown, I mean Saudi, the Night of Champions, again, praying the best for everybody. Hope everyone makes it back safely. Hope everyone gets there safely. Hope everything happens in a very, safe way considering the status of this country and whoever fucking is running this fucking shithole. Um, and that's really kind of all I want to land with. It's just I hope everything over the next couple of days is very safe for the superstars and wrestlers that I enjoy and their families and everybody who's going out there.
Absolutely. I just saw a fucking tweet that said Roxanne Perez lost 19 times in 2025, the most of any. I'm like, bro, do y'all just apply this to everybody? This rule to everybody that they got to win all the time?
This is what happens when you do AEW shit. Cause niggas just be winning AEW for no reason.
Like it's gonna be her and Mello are the new charity cases we gotta worry about.
I
Roxanne's gonna be
mean,
fine.
narratively, if you want to control the narrative, you can kind of do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
niggas is weird.
Oh, also, Kevin Owens is on the next episode of the Cody Rhodes podcast, so I will definitely be there for that.
Oh, shout out to that. Gotta watch that.
For sure. All right. Think that's it for the show this week, you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week as we are on the road to SummerSlam. And yeah, for Meelz, I'm Justin, and we'll see you guys next time on the show. Peace.